All right, well, why don't we get things going tonight? It's a little bit past 11. Still, oh my gosh, being healthy again. You know, you don't realize what you have until it's gone. Suffering through, you know, that miserable cold. Even just feeling normal, let alone like, yeah, super ginky energy all the time, everywhere. I'm happy even operating as a normie. Where is the... There we go. All right. No problem, Dorgrim. It's hard to cook anything when everything rots in proximity to you. But also the coming and going thing. Oh, right. Gotcha. You know, plus there's that whole, like, you know, anti-life shell that you know, consistently have up. And he's destroyed your kit. Like, he threw pots and pans around? Like, did he actually destroy your kitchen? Hey, let's spray bug poison directly into the... Oh, what? So your roommate may not exactly be... Oh, no. King, is your roommate Florida man? This could be a big problem. King, is your roommate Florida man? Hey, let's clean my rusty art project with shrapnel everywhere in the kitchen sink. King says he may as well be in all caps. Oh my god. King, you gotta have an intervention. You gotta say, look, dude, don't be Florida man. You're walking a fine line right now. You are a man living in Florida, and that's the prerequisite that you need to be Florida man. Let's roll a percentile and find out. Do we have a boy or a girl character? 78. Well, we certainly have a male. D10 for race. Number 4 is human. Ooh, another human. And even, we have another standard human. Medium-sized. 0 dark vision. 30 feet of movement. 15 climb. 15 swim. 0 fly. Alright. What do you get for being a human? +1 to... +1 to all your ability scores. King says, all right, one last Overwatch match, and then I'm running to work and poofs for a bit. Good luck, King. And hopefully your work, hopefully stuff at your work has settled down from what you were talking about before. Kind of the quibbling and whatnot. Memory says, please tell me he didn't ruin the deep fryer. That's right, you need that to cook the mosquitoes you catch. Big suckers. The size of sturges. A human, and we're going to roll 2 percentiles to figure out his alignment. 2317, well, that is lawful good. Don't have to worry about these alignment special rules. Now let's figure out his level with a percentile roll. 48 is going to put us also at level 12, like our last human. We're going to get 3 ability score improvements, or ASIs, one at 4, 8, and 12. I hope you're noticing a pattern. We're going to determine now with a percentile roll how many of those are going to be feats. 93. All right. All 3 of his bumps are going to be feats. And yet he's running a normal human. Interesting. If we went variant, he'd actually have 4 feats. Okay. There we go. Whoops. 4. We went normal. All right, he gets 3. There we go. His background will be determined on a 13-sided die. Numero 90. This is a Outlander.
nothing will be able to stop us. And with that, our plan moves to phase 2. Our little experiment in this city will end. And we'll move in force to take over the world.
Don't be so sure. You won't get out of the city that easy.
You humans are always so overconfident, so naive.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're aware that the Kyoto Summit, being held to decide how to handle the Snatcher problem, opens...
Which, by the way, if you're a fan of Metal Gear, watch, either play or watch the playthroughs of Police Knots and the Snatcher. Because you are going to still see, even though these are sort of like PS1 era visual novels with some kind of like active time events thrown in, you are going to see elements in Metal Gear that didn't really manifest until we get to the PS3 era. It's really interesting. Alright, let's try resetting this and make sure that everything's going to be working. Do I see myself? Yes, I do. There I am. Okay, we are good to go again. Memory lapse continues, man. I have to say, you ruined the deep fryer. Those be fighting words. Now I can't have deep fried wings. Oh my god, memory. I will eat some wings for you tomorrow in your memory. Living memory. I don't want to curse anyone out there. Alright, as an Outlander, there are D10 origins, or like different ways that you're an Outlander. Where did you live? What'd you do? What type of Outlander? Let's roll a D10 and figure it out. 7. Okay. What does number 7 mean? What is it? I do not know. And if you do, well then... you can be a smarty pants. It's a placeholder for now, as we go through the process of building this character. 2d8 personality traits, 1 and 7. 3d6 will represent an ideal bond and a flaw. This is going to be 5, 1, and 6. Now, what is he class-wise? I was about to say job-wise again, but that's Final Fantasy thinking. Big golden D12 right up here. Let's hit it and find out what we have. You ready? A 12. We have a wizard. And what kind of a wizard? We're going to roll a D8 to find out. Whoops. Ooh, I rolled 2d8 instead. Well, the first result up here is a 4. That means that we have an enchantment wizard. Memory continues. Again, ruin the oven. Now I can't have baked wings or tuna or green bean casserole. Yeah, well, you probably just need to do some special cleaning in order to get all the bug spray out of it. That definitely... hopefully King has like a roommate contract or something, or, you know, some equivalent of that. Can hold the feet to the fire. Okay, we're making a wizard. We have a human. They start at 4'8", and we're going to roll 2d10. Okay, well, I guess we're going to add a foot to his height. He is going to be 5'8". We're going to take that same 12 and multiply it by 2d4 and add that to his base weight. 6. Okay, so we're going to add 72 pounds to 110, so he is 182 pounds. There we go. Now we'll roll for how old he is. Percentile die, let's find out. We rolled a 48. That's going to put us in the adult range right here, column 3. We bring human over. We have 26 to 40. Alright, so that is going to be a 15-sided die. Roll it. 5. Alright, so that is going to be 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. He is 30 years old. Jake, good to see you. Good to see you back. So I recently showed some of the other people I play with the randomization spreadsheet, and they were really intrigued by it. Today we played our first game in a party of completely randomized characters, except for level. We all started at 4. I'm really happy then, Jake, that that they were able to like dig, really get into it and use this as a mental springboard to challenge themselves. Did they find their characters fun and compelling, even though they were completely random? Kruger, whoa, it's been a little bit. Kruger, I hope you're doing well, feeling well out in your part of Ohio. Yo to you. BX Fiction, greetings to you as well. I need to help on map making. Do you have any inside castle maps I can use for my D&D? Fiction, there, if you look in the links down below, it may be more difficult if you're on a mobile device, but they should still be there. There are a couple links that will give you some direct access to maps. Otherwise, Fiction, we are going to generate a map tonight in MS Paint, and if you'd like, because you need some help map making, it won't be an inside castle that we do per se, because that'd be more like a dungeon, and we could make a dungeon later this week too if you'd like. But check out the links below, Fiction, and hopefully you'll get some good resources. Kruger, I'm good now. I just got done punching a box repeatedly to take my anger out. Is that you started some martial arts training? Is it a part of that, or is that something different, Kruger? All right, we have generated the random aspects of our character. We can put the random roller away that Jake was just talking about. Jake, that really makes me happy that your friends were just getting involved in that. Oh, you continue, actually. Everyone seemed to have a good time, especially since pretty well everyone got classes and backgrounds they wouldn't normally take. For example, one of the others has only ever played a barbarian. Today, they debuted a lore bard. Oh, that's great. It's a good challenge, and you know what? Because everyone did it, I think that helps people feel more comfortable going outside of their box and their norm. Jake, sounds like you're stepping up and being the guy in your D&D community, in your circle of friends. That level of empowerment it's tough to match or beat. All right, we're gonna begin with the backgrounds. Speaking of backgrounds, Jake, well, as you know, you've been here for a while. I like starting here because this gives you an idea of what your character did before they were their class, before they were an adventurer. In this case, before our human here became a, he found wizardry. He lived in the Outlands, in the wilds. Skill proficiencies, athletics, and survival. He'll get a tool proficiency of some kind of instrument. So I'll put question marks to come back to that when we determine what kind of instrument does this character feel like he would play. We are going to get an extra language of our choice. Well, by being a human, we do get common, something else of our choice, and now our background will give us one other. Our equipment, we will get a quarterstaff, a hunting trap, some kind of a trophy from an animal, traveler's clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gold. Here we go. Now, our origin we rolled was number 7, And look, again, I don't have these memorized. If we consult the chart here, it looks like a 7 is a Pilgrim. Paisy, it's good to see you again. Hello, can't stay for long since I'm at work, but since we mentioned art last stream, I posted on your Discord a surprisingly good example I made to illustrate a character's nightmare. If that's something you'd like to see, yeah, I'll bring it up real quick, Paisy. Not my usual style, but when you work 12-hour night shifts in an office, you can get bored. Yes. Here, let's bring this up. Oh wow. What it is that an acrylic paint that you ended up using? Huh. Now, Paisy, are you using this as a handout as a DM to give to your players in order to motivate them into action? Or is this just, look, I don't even know. This just came out when I started. That's really neat, Paisy. By the way, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is it Paisy? Is it Pazzy? Tell me how you would prefer it pronounced, and I'll do my best to remember that. Kruger, no, this kid was putting me down, and every time I'm in the chat and say something in this chat he tries to say he's better, and all I said in the chat was I got 12 headshots out of 18 in a video game, so then he started crap with you. You weren't even talking to him. Well, you know, Kruger, look, if someone is going to try and one-up you like that and be a braggart, let them. I mean, anyone who's reasonable and watching this chat is going to realize that this guy is trying way too hard to stress points that just aren't meaningful or relevant. I can understand your frustration, and I'm glad you decided to take it out on a box, but man, Kruger, don't let that sort of stuff get to you. You know, don't empower these people. I know it's easier said than done, but I've been there and done that. One Crit Wonder TV, thank you very much for the host. Welcome to you. Paisy says, those are felt tip pens on a spiral notepad. The idea is largely to spark an idea in a theater of mind kind of way. I appreciate the kind words. I'll come back and have proper discussion. All right, Paisy, we'll see you later. I'll be going till at least 3 a.m. tonight, Eastern time. It's 11:27 p.m. currently for me. So, look, work, do what you got to do. Don't get in trouble. Not on my behalf, anyway. You know, if you're working security at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, you got to watch that energy usage and make sure you're dropping the doors accordingly. And Rogue Infinity is here. Welcome to you also, Rogue. Kruger, I'll try not to. Thank you for the advice. I just felt like I did in high school again, and I didn't like that you felt powerless. Well, you know, it's... Again, look at the medium, you know, and also how are you... your reaction either removes the threat or empowers the bully. And I mean, as you go through martial arts, or you know, you explore different philosophies, what, you know, secular or religious, you're gonna find a lot of these common themes. You know, you'll get someone who's like, no, I can do better than you, or yeah, whatever, bro, I got 2 more headshots and, you know, an Overwatch or something. Fine, dude. If you have to override everyone and you have to create, you know, community-wide turbulence, then have your title. I bow to you, right? It's almost like in the Princess Bride. You're very politely and tactfully being that kind of garbage woman that comes out and boos Princess Buttercup as she's having a dream about getting married to Prince Humperdinck. You know, you just go out and you're like, boo, boo, let's all bow to the Princess of Putrescence, a boo. So, you know, put a little humorous spin, think about it in that context, And just realize, Kruger, look, if this person has to behave like this, he or she is probably in, I don't know, like a lot more pain or a lot worse position in life than you are. Not that you have to rub that back in their face, but you're probably living a better life than someone who has to do this in order for attention. And you can almost take pity on people like that. Yep, memory lapse, I concur. And Paisy, if you're here or not still, thank you for sharing that. That's really neat. Actually, just think of it this way, Kruger. Look at your horror film namesake. If you don't believe Freddy Krueger can hurt you in a dream, he can't hurt you. He's completely powerless. He needs to make you afraid and have you rationalize injury or death in order to hold any sway over you. Alright, so we have a pilgrim. He was out doing some things as a wanderer. As he was wandering, he learned the ways of the land. He can survive off the land. And if the resources are there, he can provide food and water for himself and some other party members. Though, look, if you're a DM and you have a character who has rolled up an Outlander, and they're in a desert, that doesn't mean that, you know, oases spring up anytime they look for water. Okay, his personality traits. We have kind of a wild wizard here who went into enchantment. 1. I'm driven by a wanderlust that led me away from home. You know, things like suggestion and Gaius and all these other charms. This kind of fits, right? So he's studying a form of magic that he himself, it's, you know, he's casting through a book as a wizard, but it's almost intrinsic to his personality. He really resonates with it. Number 7, I feel far more comfortable around animals than people. And you can enchant animals as well. Kruger, I didn't think like that. Thank you. I just blocked him so I don't have to worry about him anymore. That's a solution too. And hey, look, you got a workout out of it too, right? Memory lapse, make your feelings towards it like a desolate desert to them with nothing but sand dunes for miles and the scorching sun. Suddenly, memory lapse has drugged you into the Dark Sun campaign setting, Kruger. Ideals, number 5, nature. The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization. So this is interesting, right? We have almost a druid-like character, but instead of drawing his power from the land, it's almost like he's making a journal, a travel log. And the things that he's seen and, you know, the rhythms of nature and such, he's making these notes in a journal, which is turning into his spell book. And he's an enchantment wizard too. He's not necessarily, I mean, he's an enchantment specialty, but he's not even necessarily, you know, like, yes, I'm going to take all plant growth and like kind of force myself into here. You can certainly be enchantment and talk with plants and animals to be able to convince people that, you know, look, you don't want to log here, or you'll find no food in these woods, or something along those lines. You give them the old Jedi mind trick. You can find inspiration anywhere. Bonds, number 1. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. Rycon, hello! Just spent 10 hours looking for my dog and finally found him before the sun went down. Oh no, I'm glad you were able to get your dog back. Was it one of those where you just jumped the fence? Hopefully no one was trying to steal your dog. Oh my gosh, that would be terrifying. Yes, and at night it gets really cold too, just to rub it in, right? And his flaw is number 6. It is my duty to provide children to sustain my tribe. Oh my, we have quite the enchanter. This puts a little bit of a twist on why he's studying enchanting magic as well. Not that he's probably, you know, forcing encounters, but he can certainly be very persuasive, wink wink, and in realizing like, hey, we have a duty to our tribe. I have proven myself to, you know, carry strengths, to come from a strong, you know, family, and I believe that we have a responsibility, wink, to provide more children. And so he might be a little bit of a you know, kind of a wink and a nudge, you know, like a little bit of a player or something. Things like that. Are you drawing this character in your brain? Are you starting to already get an outline in some form or fashion about who he is, how he operates, what he does? How did you have someone born in the Outlands come to be a wizard, let alone an enchantment wizard? Kruger, I wish I didn't go to college. I hate homework. I have to give a best man speech in front of the class. Well, Kruger, if you need help either composing the speech or if you want some practice, then, you know, let me know if I can help you out in that regard. What's the class in particular? Jake says, I ended up with an evocation wizard and I took it a step further and randomized my spells. Turns out the dice really wants me to be a pyromaniac. That's great, Jake. Oh, by the way, Jake, speaking of college and school, I presume the snow has finally started, you know, have the glaciers receded from your campus yet? We are almost in June. Memory lapse, or you could picture it like a frozen tundra in the middle of a blizzard with 56-mile-an-hour winds. If you ever talk to a survivalist, it's not the heat or the deserts that are hardest to endure, it's the cold. Yep. Rycon, I live out in the country, but with no leash laws or fences. He just got lost, but if he would have stayed out at night, the coyotes would have got him for sure. We got lucky. Oh, that's good, Rycon. Did you, did you bring some firearms with you just in case you might have to scare off or put down some coyotes while you were out there? Anyway, I'm glad that you got your doggo back safe and sound. Good hunting, Rycon. Okay, excellent. Excellent. I would say we move now into the racial features of being a human, but we already have it. You speak common and one other language. You move 30 feet. You have 0 dark vision, and by being a just like a normal, like a by the book human, you just get to add 1 to each of your abilities. You still have to write the speech for class. Haven't even started it yet. Oh, it's for public speaking. And you chose the best man speech because friend is getting married. Well, Kruger, if you look, this is your call. I'm certainly willing to help, or at least give you hints and tips and tricks if you want to do the writing yourself and you know, make sure that you're practicing presenting. Though if you would like input, I will not write the speech for you because I mean that undermines your class, but I can give you input and maybe ask questions and help guide you to make sure that your best man speech that you're writing for class / your friend's wedding comes through as I think you would like it to come through. Jake says, actually, the ice finally broke in the lake crossed from my place 4 days ago, completely unfrozen now. Snow is quickly receding too. Well, it's about dark time. Actually, Jake, do you live in your college town, or do you go back home someplace else? Are you like a permanent in so much that you're studying? Are you a permanent part of your college town, or do you travel? All right, so we already discussed the race. That it is what it is. Now let's go to our classes right here. Wizard. And remember, we don't have any stats up yet because it's not important. We're focusing on who our character is first. We'll throw in stats later. That's fine. Every character has stats. Not every character is the same character. And you know what? As Jake was saying that he tried this with his group of friends to just go all rando and have fun and open yourself up to that, give it a try if you haven't, even as an exercise. Just have fun with it and don't worry about the stats. Have the stats fit the character and the random rolls. Jake says music's a little overpowering, born and raised. You know, that was the second time that was brought up. I'll tell you what, if it's a little too intense, it might just be the music itself. This one's pretty strong. So we have someone from the Outlands. Let's put on some Outlands style of music. How about that? We have some options here. Actually, there's a really nice kind of low-key one where we can, like, we're just kind of traipsing across the countryside. Here we go, Windswept Plains. There you go. Thank you for letting me know that it was overpowering, because again, my audio experience on my end of the camera and headphones and everything is going to be different than your all's out there. And you were born and raised there, gotcha. Alright, level 12, bada boom, there we go. Kruger says the speech is Monday, the rough draft has to be in by Thursday. By midnight effectively. And I'd love the help, but I'm going to write it tomorrow during work, so if you would help me with the final draft, I'd appreciate it. Yep, Kruger, if you would like, you can, if you want to send me a message, you can, just me. Or if you want to throw that out there and have other people, like, look, King Von Alle does this sort of thing as a job. In fact, he was just talking about it earlier, because we're going over the titles. Like, if you want to be a mentor in the community of some kind, you can come here and request a title. And King says, look, I'll proofread your stuff, but you got to be brave enough to come and put your head on the chopping block. Because, look, he does professional editing. And so he'll be blunt, he'll be direct, but he can give you advice as well in why did you even include this line? You know, it's not to make you feel stupid, but if you can't answer that question, why did I mention this? Actually, now that you bring it up, I don't even know. Well, then why is it in your writing? Meow. Well, come up and see everyone. Come on. I don't know if you heard him honk. Come on, bud. Look, come up and be social. There we go. You got this? And he just wants to rub on the door, I guess. Whatever. Fine. Fine. You can be that way. That was quite the honk he gave, though. Jake says, officially the college is a community college, but has a thing set up with one of the top schools in Canada to transfer credit. Oh, yeah. I know those types of programs, Jake. Going to this college for a year or two for... Yep. You know, and it's wise to do that. You know, a lot of high schools might even offer some college credits, and then you can go into a community college that has something set up. And heck, by the time you graduate high school, the local high school here, depending on maybe what the focus is, you can actually graduate high school with an associate's degree. You can go to the local community college for a year or two, and then only have to take a couple classes, like some capstone stuff at the main university. And after 2 years of college or so, you could walk out with a bachelor's, or you could provide the other two. So your 4 years, you know, your traditional 4 years at university, you'd actually walk out with a master's degree. Kruger says, okay, thank you. I'd love both your help, but I'm not really critical about my work. I appreciate the feedback. I'll message you both when it's done tomorrow. Okay, Kruger. It's your speech, and you know, however you want to go about it. All right, now remember, instead of ASIs, instead of ability score increases, we are going to take 3 feats. This is going to be a very interesting character here. We look, what do we have? We have a +4 for a proficiency bonus. We're going to know 5 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our spell slots are going to be 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1. Now, what do these mean? You can stop and ask at any point in time. I'm doing character creation in a little bit of interpretive dance style. We're not doing this in a traditional fashion because we're building the end product, but we're also retroactively looking back at who he was as we're building forward. Hopefully that doesn't sound too convoluted. Okay, what else? We are a D6 hit die class, so we're not the toughest. And we have 12 of them because we are level 12. Remember, your hit dice represent your ability to heal in between combats naturally without needing to use up magic, as well as they'll help determine how many hit points per level you get as you level up. No armor proficiencies, that's fine. Weapons, we are going to be proficient in daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows. Oh, pardon me. That's a little bit of the itis because I had some really yummy noodles, some spicy noodles earlier. No armor, no tools, saving throw proficiencies, intelligence, and wisdom. So you can see we filled in the diamonds here to indicate that of all the saving throws, these 2 are going to get our proficiency bonus because we're going to be better at it. Now, we come to 2 skills that he will receive. Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Medicine, and Religion. We get to choose 2. One method you can use is, well, look at your personality. Look at your bonds and flaws. Look at your personality traits. What would a character like this take? Now, if you want, you can say, no one's taking Arcana, I'm a wizard, sure, I'll fill that in. And I'm not saying it dismissively like it makes you a bad person, but just think about how you want to present your character. You know, if you want a holistic character, or if you want your character to be made to fill a slot in a party. These are both viable strategies depending on your fellow PCs, your DM, this meta conversation. Kruger continues, all day today and yesterday I've been watching the Doctor Who marathon. I love that show so much. I wish I was in that world, being able to visit anywhere at any time. Yeah, it does a lot to inspire imagination, and it's very good for that, Kruger. And I'll tell you, despite my innate bias against time travel in multiple dimensions, I can appreciate, like more than tolerate, I can appreciate Doctor Who because it doesn't take itself seriously in those regards. And so the whole point is just to throw your brain open and stir stuff around and see what happens. Memory lapse, I heard a cricket and thought I was hearing it out my window. Nope, we're camping out in the fields. We're setting up a bivouac. Alright, so I'm driven by my wanderlust. I feel far more comfortable around animals than people. My family's most important thing in my life. And my duty is to provide children to sustain my tribe. Also, he was a Pilgrim Outlander. So perhaps we can go religion and perhaps medicine, right? If he's a pilgrim out in the wilds, and especially if he's looking to try and increase the population of his tribe, he should learn how to bring babies into the world, not just make them. I don't know, does that make sense to you all? And Kruger says same. Spellcasting, we're not going to worry about just yet until we actually get some materials. Equipment. We start with the following equipment. In addition, we'll get a quarterstaff or a dagger. Well, we already have a quarterstaff, so why don't we take a dagger? If he's wandering around as such, he'll probably want a component pouch. Which, you know what? We almost have something like a medicine man, right? In various Native American lore mythology. That's kind of the style of character that we're creating. So the component pouch is like his medicine pouch in a way. Scholar's pack. Now we're going to go Explorer's pack. And a spell book. We have our number of cantrips. That's fine. We're not going to worry about spell casting. Race. Well, we already have everything from that. Class. We are going to get Arcane Recovery. Once per day, when you finish a short rest, you can choose expended spell slots to recover. We're going to take our Arcane Tradition at 2nd level. That's fine. That will be Enchantment. That's our archetype right here. ASI, and we're not high enough yet for Spell Mastery, which is the overarching all wizards get. So, Abjuration, Divination, Enchantment, School of Enchantment. We are an Enchantment Savant. We can memorize, or we can copy spells more quickly and with less expense. As well, we have a Hypnotic Gaze. Starting at 2nd level, when you choose this school, your soft words and enchanting gaze can magically enthrall another creature. As an action, choose one creature that you can see within 5 feet of you. If the target can see or hear you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your wizard spell save DC, or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn. We are also going to receive Instinctive Charm. Beginning at 6th level, when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to divert the attack, provided the other creature is within the attack's range. So, you know, him, not me. This is kind of what that boils down to. Also, we can now split enchantments. When you cast an enchantment spell of 1st level or higher that targets only one creature, you can have it target a 2nd creature. Get a nice twofer. And you want to talk about increasing the population for your tribe. And we're not high enough yet for Alter Memories. Okay, congratulations. We've built a wizard, and we've done so without using any stats. Because the stats are important, but they're not your character. They are a part of your character. Okay. Now we can discuss stats, though. Because we filled in most everything else. Pardon me. Now, if we're using the standard array, I could recommend that intelligence is high, because you need that as a wizard. I think... How do we want to do this? So let's say we put a 15 in intelligence. I believe that since he thinks he's very, he is very healthy, right? He has healthy seed to sow, so to speak. That I almost want to say like a 14 con, right? He's a very healthy guy. Wisdom is also very important to him. Driven by wanderlust. Feel more comfortable around animals. Natural world is more important. Alright, if that's the case, if he's a pilgrim, he's doing a lot more climbing and such. I think that he should have some kind of a strength score. probably give him actually charisma as a dump stat. And you're like, well, but this man believes that, you know, he's the next generation. In fact, he's probably providing many members of the next generation. Well, if you're an enchantment wizard, you don't need an especially high charisma or social graces, right? If you saw the Conan the Barbarian movie, you know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, look, he wasn't charismatic. He was certainly strong. But when he was captured, he proved his strength. And so, you know, his masters at the time threw women into a pen, like a pillowed pen with him, in order to make sure that he was passing those genes on to others for this, you know, this owner or this sponsor. He didn't have to sweet talk him. Look, he looked charming. He may have been kind of awkward in person, but he looked strong. He looked healthy. And if you have this magic mojo flowing, you know, there's that. Memory Lapse says the different schools for a wizard are so cool. I love reading through them and going and looking at spells for the wizard that falls under schools of magic. One of the neatest combos I've seen, I believe, was for Abjuration, Alarm and Arcane Lock. Would you like to explain that, Memory Lapse? Now, if we have this spread for a human, remember that a human gets, a regular human gets +1 to everything. So we have a 13 strength, 11 dex, 15 con, 16 intelligence, 14 wisdom, and 9 charisma. Now, before I go through and I start filling in these numbers, well, we're not taking stat bumps, right? Normally at 4, 8, and 12, you would get to add 2 points to one stat or 1 point to 2 stats to increase it. And every even number gives you an extra +1 modifier. Feats can sometimes partially contain stat bumps. And so it's important that we decide which feats he's going to have before we spread these numbers across the rest of the character sheet. Pardon me. So we'll collapse this. Let's go to Chapter 6, Customization Options. And here are the feats listed in alphabetical order. Now, it is important to note these are optional, and you may have a DM that says, nay. I'm open to it. I don't mind feats. I think they can provide some good specialization, some fun stuff. Athlete actually would be kind of interesting to give him. You know, he's a bit of a muscle wizard. Alert, +5 bonus to initiative. You can't be surprised while you're conscious, and other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being hidden from you. He is an Outlander also. He is a wizard, yes. He's an Outlander too. Actor could be interesting. You have advantage on charisma deception and charisma performance checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. You can mimic the speech of another person naturally without even needing magic. Let's see. I don't know if Dungeon Delver would really be his thing. Durable could be interesting if he's been kind of a loner for a lot of this time. An Elemental Adept. When you gain this feat, choose one of the following damage types, etc. so forth. Spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. Grappler could be interesting. You have advantage on attack rolls against a creature you're grappling. You can use your action to try and pin the creature. Ooh, so we have a wrestling wizard. Healer. You're an able physician, allowing you to mend wounds quickly and get your allies back in the fight. You gain the following benefits when you use a healer's kit to stabilize a dying creature. They also regain 1 hit point. As an action, you can spend one use of a healer's kit to tend to a creature and restore extra hit points. Armor. He's not an inspiring leader. Keen mind. Increases int by 1. He always knows which way is north. You always know the time. And you have an eidetic memory for the past month. Linguist. He can speak the language of love. Lucky, everyone can use lucky, so I don't like giving characters lucky because it's just universally good. Mage Slayer, you have practiced techniques useful in melee combat against spellcasters, gaining the following benefits. When a creature within 5 feet of you casts a spell, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the creature. When you damage a creature that is concentrating on that spell, the creature has disadvantage on the saving throw, and you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by creatures within 5 feet of you. He could be a magic initiate and kind of dip his toes into some druid powers, perhaps. Pick up some more cantrips. Mobile. He's a little quicker. If he wants to be a Casanova, he better learn how to run from some people. Observant. Let's see. Increase your int or whiz by 1. You can see a creature's mouth while speaking, a language you can understand. You can interpret what it's saying. And you have a +5 bonus to your passive perception and intelligence investigation. Resilient. Resilient could be interesting too. Resilient could be very interesting. Like, we're almost making like a fighter wizard or like a barbarian wizard if we take that sort of stuff. Increase the chosen ability score by 1 and gain proficiency in a saving throw using the chosen ability. He can be skilled. Gain proficiency in any combination of 3 skills or tools of your choice. Spell Sniper? He uses his spells. I don't know if he's necessarily a sniper with him, though. He's a lover, not... he can fight, but he's more of a lover than a fighter, I think. Tavern Brawler. Increase your strength or con by 1. If you're proficient with you are proficient with improvised weapons and unarmed strikes, your unarmed strikes deal D4 for damage. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike or an improvised weapon on your turn, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target. That could be interesting too. Make a Tavern Brawler style, like a bear wrestling wizard. Tough, your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. Whether you gain a level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2. Chewy, go through the Tome of Foes yet? I don't have one here with me currently, but I have reviewed it. Was there anything in particular you wanted to discuss about it, Chewy? We're welcome to do so. Memory says a totally different way of looking at a wizard, support instead of damage dealer or field controller. Yep. Warcaster could be important. You have advantage on con saving throws you make to maintain your concentration. You can perform the somatic component of spells even when you have weapons or shield in one or both hands, or when a hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity of attack, you can use your reaction to cast a spell on that creature. This might also have some romantic implications too if you're otherwise occupied and you want to cast a spell. Or Weapon Master, increase your strength or dex by 1. And you gain proficiency with 4 weapons of your choice. If we did this, we could give him, like, I don't know, he could be wielding a greatsword. Wouldn't that be something? Right? You go like Warcaster, Weapon Master, and, I don't know, Tavern Brawler. Wouldn't that be neat? Or if we didn't want to do Tavern Brawler, we could get... Oh, come on. Athlete would be fun. Grappler. You have advantage on attack rolls against a creature you're grappling. You can use your action to try and pin a creature. And creatures that are one size larger than you don't automatically succeed. So, like, we could make a burly wizard and just have him beat. Like, he casts, but he's a beater. You love to get Zerai? Yeah, so unfortunately, as I don't have one here, otherwise, Chewy, if you wanted, I'd crack it open, and we could go to that chapter and read through it and discuss it. Memory Lapse says that statement had to do with Alarm and Arcane Lock. Look above. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. You use Arcane Lock on a closed door, and it will last until dispelled. Then you can set an alarm with the alarm spell on a door for 8 hours. Yes. Good combo. Thank you for clarifying that, Memory, and for drawing my attention to it. So, for those of you out there, what kind of a wizard do you think we have? What would you like to see? He gets 3 feats. True says, I just used to love Planescape, so the Gith are just fun. Gith Yankee are a great enemy to take on, and the Gith Zerai can be amenable. Well, plus you get to have fun being pirates on the high astral seas. Let's go with this combination here. We are going to go with Warcaster. We're going to go with Weapon Master. And we'll choose our 4 weapons. Also, this is going to give us a strength or dex. So let's increase our strength to 14. And let's go with Tavern Brawler. We'll increase our constitution by 1 and go to 16. A wizard with a constitution of 16. How about that? Which also means that we get unarmed strikes. Piercing, bludgeoning, and bludgeoning for the quarterstaff. That means our strength is 2, dex is 0, con is 3, int is 3, wiz is 2, charisma is just kind of hanging out there at -1. Now that we have this, we can open up the rest of the page. Dorgrim, well, everyone can do an unarmed strike. Tavern Brawler just allows for more base. I'm sorry. So, yeah, the 1d4 is to show that you have that, and you are also proficient with improvised weapons, so you can add in your proficiency on that as well. And you're proficient with unarmed strikes and such. Memory says, then you can also use Glyph of Warding on the doors as well. Being able to rest a full 8 hours is important sometimes. If you happen to have an area where you can combine that combo together, you're pretty well set for a while, yeah. You can do wizards can do a ton of downtime stuff, and especially with ritual casting. All right, saving throw 2 and is 2 for strength, 6 for athletics because it is our mod plus our proficiency as we're proficient. Dex is going to be 0 down the line. Con is 3. We're very healthy individuals looking to make very healthy babies all across the Outlands. 3 Arcana, History, Investigation, and Nature. 6 for our saving throw, medicine, and survival. 2 for these others here. Oh, okay, gotcha, Dorgrim. Thank you. Your chip is active and working properly. Initiative is a dex check, so we're at +0. Our armor class is going to be 10 because we start with 10 plus dex, and that's what we have. Our current hit points. Well, you get the full hit die at level 1. Congratulations. Dun, 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 dun. For the other levels past that, in this case it's going to be 11, right? It's a level 12 character. Level 1 already has the hit points, so we got to fill in all the others. For the next 11 levels, I recommend going half +1 of your hit die. In this case, it would be 4. For every level that your character has, so 12, you get bonus HP equal to your con bonus, to your con modifier. So there's our algebraic equation. We are getting 36 hit points here. We're getting 44 hit points here, +6. So this is 50. This is going to be 86 hit points as a wizard. We are definitely casting fist in people's faces here. Bubonic one, this is a wizard. Passive perception is going to be 12, as that's 10 plus your perception modifier, and that represents your natural awareness of what's around you. Nope, straight up human, bubonic one. Buffy, good to see you back. What hat is on your head? This is an onion dome hat, Buffy, if you can see here. That might be a little bit better. Thank you for asking, and it's good to see you back. To attack with our spells, it's going to be 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have a +7 because we are proficient with spells. I hope so. We're a wizard. Add 8 to that, and that is the difficulty to resist the effects of your spells. Yeah, bubonic. Yeah, that looks like a slime, right? If I can put some foil on it, and it'll be a metal slime, but it won't last that long. So crazy. So if you look at Buffy, look at onion dome architecture, and you'll get an idea. Okay, there we go. He has earned a name, and there's a little bit more we still have to fill in now that we have our stats. Not too much to worry about. Let's go back to being a wizard right here. Go over to page 3. The number of spells you can prepare equals your intelligence modifier plus your wizard level. In this case, it's going to be 15 then. Right? Our spellcasting ability is int. And if you even want, you can put in like a +3. El Eskimo, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. If you want to participate in the conversation, if you have any questions, comments, as a new player, as an old player, or as a DM of any length of time, you're welcome to do so. That follow means a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're liking what we're doing here as we're developing a very uncanny wizard, right? You know, who'd suspect that a wizard would come rolling up on you, you know, just sort of like barbarian, like bare-chested, you know, he's got this great sword that he can not only hit you with the great sword, but he can also cast spells while wielding it. Yep, from the Dragon Quest games, exactly. Our save DC was 15. Our attack bonus is 7. And we don't have anything special, like nothing like key points, lay on hands, that kind of a thing. All right, for our page 3, we do get 5 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pardon me? Oh, goodness. And our spell slots, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Now, at first level, our spell book is going to contain 6 first level spells. I recommend, if you are playing a caster class, please do something like this to help keep your spells organized. This way you know that these spells, these first level spells in your book, when did you obtain them? And if you even want to make extra notes, where did you obtain them? From whom? For how much? And why this is important is because wizards get 2 freebie spells to put in their books every time they level up. However, nothing stops a wizard from traveling around all over and learning spells from other wizards, trading spells, buying spells outright from different colleges, or maybe like a magic shop or something. As a wizard, you don't get every spell like you do as a cleric or as a druid or a paladin. You have to learn them. However, given enough time and tenacity, you can learn every wizard spell. Now, that's filtered down, though, because you can only prepare of, the 11 billion spells that are in your book. You can still only prepare so many of those. And of those you prepare, your spell slots are a further bottleneck into casting. So anyway, at level 2, we get our 2 freebie spells. At level 3, we can now start casting level 2 magic. Now, if you wanted to go back and say, no, I'm going to complete the set, you can drop your level 3, or you can put like a level 3 here and a level 3 here. You can put both of them in level 1. It is up to you. What I'm showing you here is reflective of the fact that every odd level, you can go up a rank of casting, right? So there's level 4, so this is going to be a 5 and a 5 because we get our 2 freebies as a wizard every level. 6 and 6. 7, 7, 8, 8. Whoops. 9, 9, 10, 10. 11, 11, 12, and 12. Now, this is also where you might start saying, all right, look, I can learn I can learn 4 levels of 6 spells. But I only have 1 spell slot, and you can't really downgrade higher level spells into lesser. In that case, you would probably say, look, if I'm running this wizard, I would be dumping, like, I put a level 12. I might have 1 or 2 here, but I would probably put level 12 stuff back into 3 or 1, or some of these other ones. So you're getting more versatility because many spells can be cast upwards. You can cast a level 9 fireball, and you don't need to fill to know a spell other than fireball for that. You just upcast it through that slot. Buffy says, can the wizard have a background? Maybe they're by a coast? Yeah, Buffy, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, wizards, it could be a wizard from the coast. All we know is, look, this person, this wizard, an enchantment wizard, is a pilgrim of some kind. He wanders the lands. So I'm sure there's been a wizard of the coast at some point in time here. I see what you did there, Buffy. You're good, you're good. Bubonic One, I have my SNES Classic running right now. I'm going to play Dragon Quest VI. Yes, I hacked my Classic. It's easy, and frankly, since Nintendo made this dang thing legal, as long as I have my original DQ4 cart sitting here. Can even hack the SNES Classic to play NES games. Well, isn't it just, it's like a little Raspberry Pi that's been reskinned, if I recall correctly. All right, now, there's a couple other things to fill in. For instance, what weapons do we want to give him the ability to wield? We can do that. We need to fill in his spells, and as a wizard, think of this. Your spell book as a wizard is almost a diary, right? In Magic the Gathering, it's called a library because it's exactly that. You as a planeswalker have traveled, you've seen things, visited people, and you've written books about it, and those books go in your library, and you consult your library to bring forth these items to fight on your behalf or to help defend you against others. So if you're rocking a wizard PC, think of your spell book like a diary. You know, you could hand this, if you want practice, generate up a character and hand that character off to someone you might consider to be an experienced PC or a DM, and let them ask you, like, why did you take this spell? Or, like, why don't you have Fireball? That's a super efficient spell. Well, my character is a sailor. Why would I learn Fireball if it could set my own ship on fire? You know, things like that. And all of a sudden, you're getting reasons for why you have the spells that you have. You've taken a course through life, and you've noted it down in your spell book. So use that as an extension of your character and his or her personality. Tycho says you can hack your interwebs and download all your memes and replace them with stock photos. Yes, as a man dressed in a banana in various poses. King, you are the 12-year-old girl of adventuring. Fireball is that boy you like but hasn't asked you out yet, and you're afraid he'll ask out Jessica instead of you. Like, no, I gotta take Fireball. Everyone takes Fireball. What kind of a wizard am I if I don't take Fireball? Well, you're your own damn wizard. Look, if you're playing this wizard, are you a wizard? Really? You're an enchantment wizard who is a breeding machine. It is my duty to provide children to sustain my tribe. You know, you are looking to be suave and powerful. You're this, you know, you're not charismatic, but you're this Conan style, right? You're imposing, you're healthy, you're vigorous. You can cast magic, and because you're a weapon master, you can swing a great sword or a great axe, a halberd, a pike, a trident, whatever we want to give you. You get 4 slots of unique weapons. You're a tavern brawler, so you're a muscle wizard too. You can punch people in the face, and they'll thank you for it because you can, you know, you're casting enchanted magic with the help of Warcaster through your fist as you're retracting it back, and you're like, oh, there's a tooth stuck in my knuckle. Tycho says, I'll never get to be a wizard. 4chan told me so. I lost my purity. Oh, well, sorry, Tycho. Jake says, I took Fireball because I also have Firebolt and Scorching Ray, and Xeno is a full-on pyromaniac. No, and Jake, just because I'm saying everyone takes... That's a little bit of sarcasm. Your character, and especially because you rolled randomly for your spells... Well, I mean, what am I going to say to that? And especially because you got an evocation wizard, and oh no, you are having a bunch of evocation magic. Ooh, you know, it's not a big deal. Dorgrim, you're the wizard that doesn't take Fireball. Hashtag don't tell me how to play my characters. Consarnate. Dagnabbit. That's right. We may keep it PG-13 here, but when it comes to, like, early 19th century prospector cussing, oh, we got it in spades. Okay, well, our muscle wizard needs a name, and he's not pretty well done. We got to give him a spell book still. But for intents and purposes, he is finished. You know, we have everything that we need in order to be able to move forward with his character, polish him up, and get him in a playable playable state. Yosemite Sam did it best. That is correct, Dorgrim. Samse Miteyo for Yosemite Sam. How about that? Acid damage better than fire anyway. I love acid spells. And don't forget, you can do some alchemy on the fly if you're casting acid around. Jake says, I also have a cat familiar named Biff. That's fun, Jake. Boffin Biff. All right, I got to get up. I'm gonna take this onion dome hat off because it's trapping heat, and I don't want that. I want my brain to overcook. Take about 10 minutes. Take this off. Get a nice big pitcher of ice cold water, and when I come back, we're gonna make some kind of an adventuring locale for the 3 characters that we've already generated. It'll be a random map. We're taking a small break away from Mesotopia and the surrounding environs, and we're just going to have sort of a random adventure, right? This week, even like a low-level adventure, maybe no higher than 10. It might be 1 to 10, it might be 3 to 10, something along those lines. But we're going to have a solid, fun, low-level adventure where it'll be like a nice environment, and we'll go over with MS Paint and Open Office how you can go about doing that. My DM wasn't too pleased to learn that he's going to be NPCing the cat. What's the cat's personality like, Jake? Bubonic One wonders how King is doing on losing our bet. Oh, that's right, King. Do you have a status update on the NPCs that you were making last night?